Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob. I'll be your host. And this past week, I got a text while I was at work from a friend of mine, and he was telling me how he was running a Pathfinder game and had all these different adventure hooks for his players, and they wouldn't follow anything, they wouldn't do anything. I texted him back and I said, I've had that happen before in the past. But he never texted back and elaborated or give me a heads up if things worked out or not. Hopefully they worked out for him. But it got me thinking, you know, sometimes when we play our games, things just go awry. And it also got me thinking, how much story is too much story in your game? Now, role-playing games give you the opportunity to come together as a group and kind of work together to tell a story. The game master's coming up with the situations that'll pop up for your characters, gives them places they can go, things they can do, and then the characters in the story are portrayed by the players, and they get to make the decisions. Sometimes this goes awry, though, and I've seen it happen far too many times. Sometimes it's referred to as railroading, and a lot of times people say it's solely the game master's fault. The game master's always to blame if the story breaks down and things don't happen. Not necessarily always true. I've seen several games I've run, where I present adventure ideas to the players, multiple ideas, multiple hooks, multiple paths, and the players just do not want to do any of that. Which is really disheartening for a game master. And I thought the whole idea for the game was to get together and have an adventure together. Does your adventure trump the story? Does your story trump the adventure? It's hard to tell. But as the books say, it's collaborative. The groups have to work together. The game master, as game master, it is your job to come up with things that the players are interested in. And yes, you're going to run some things that the players may not be interested in. In the same respect, it is the player's responsibility to actually do something. Play the game. Sometimes you're going to play things that you don't want to, and it gets really weird when some players do and some players don't. And then you have the upset in the game. It's really disheartening. And I've even seen some game masters, and I've seen it written in some gaming books, to write scripts for your players to follow. I think that's going a little too far. We're not trying to write the next great novel here, not try to write the next great movie. We're just trying to have an adventure, have some fun together. And to do that, we all have to work together. The game masters have to present stuff that the players are interested in, and the players actually have to participate. Sometimes that can be hard for some players who have trouble socializing, but you can do it. It's an experience. But back in the day, we used to have what were called campaign settings. And they pop up today in the modern Dungeons and Dragons, mostly in just name alone. In the day, your Greyhawk and your Dragonlance and your Forgotten Realms, they gave you a big sandbox. They gave you locations, told you what was going on in those locations, and then it was up to you to populate it with adventures. And in some of them, they did give you adventures that you could run in them, which was cool. Seems like nowadays, what a lot of people are referring to as the campaign, or the modern campaign books, isn't so much a sandbox anymore, but a string of adventures to get you from point A to point B. And that just doesn't seem right to me. I think that's too much planning, too much writing ahead, plotting out your story too much. And plotting your story is good, but there's a point where it can be overdone. I just can't seem to get my head around, though, when you do present multiple roads, multiple stories you could tell, multiple adventures you could take, why you wouldn't? That would be a failing of the game master. But at the same time, when is it the player's fault? These are questions that keep me up at night. So, at what point is too much of a story too much for your game? These were things I was thinking of after that brief conversation in text. But I'm sure all of you have your opinions on it. I don't get it a lot of the time. But thank you for joining me in my rambling. And hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.